Alright guys, this video is gonna be about a brand new game, and that's gonna be the Dragon Raja ReRise. Now, for those of you guys who don't actually know or haven't heard about this before, it's actually based on a Chinese anime. I believe season 2 came out fairly recently, or definitely this year. It might still be airing right now, so definitely do give it a try if you are, a fan of this kind of like anime style. I won't really talk about the storyline because I don't want any spoiler, etc. But I personally find it to be a decent anime. Okay, so definitely do give it a shout. Do give it a try if you're interested. Or if you don't really want to actually watch the anime series because it takes a bit of time, you can also understand the storyline by playing this game as well. Okay. Now, this game itself only came out 2 months ago, and there was actually quite a bit of hype building up to it because everyone actually saw it was going to be a global release. But then it turns out it was actually only for the C servers, only going to be available in Southeast Asia servers. Now, obviously, if you are living somewhere outside, you can either get a VPN and connect to that and basically download it from Google Play or iTunes or iOS officially. Or there's also going to be a second method if you don't really want to connect to VPN, and that's what I'm going to show you guys today. Now, the method of how to download this game, I'll share this link in the video comment section. But basically, click on this link. It will take you to this web page for X7 game platform. This is essentially going to be like the Chinese version of Google Play. Okay, so once you click on this link, you will see on this web page there's going to be a button of how to actually download on iOS or download on Android. Now, this won't actually be downloading the game itself. It won't be downloading Dragon Raja ReRise. Instead, it will actually be downloading the app for X7 game, which I have on the right hand side. And as you can see from the layout, it's essentially like the Chinese version of Google Play. Okay, so you can see all of those different kind of games that you can download from there. You can just search for whatever you want. So here, for example, you can search for Dragon Raja ReRise, and then once you actually go on it, you can then basically, this will show download initially. I have already downloaded it, which is why I can actually just click open, and then it will launch the game immediately. Okay, now let me show you the actual game itself because there's actually quite a lot of things to do in this game. So first of all, what is going to be the combat system? So basically, you would be assembling a team. So this, for example, is the characters that I have right now. You can sort them in team formation. You can basically play around with how you want to set up the team, right? You can decide how many people you want on your front row, back row, and also in the middle row. And each one of them can get different bonuses that you can equip onto them as well, okay? So you can see here right now, basically what I have, if I just show you, I have one person at the back and one person at the front, and then I have three in the middle. And then, for example, if I actually swap it around, what you can then see is that, I have changed this person. So two at the back, one at front, two in the middle now. So basically, you can definitely play around with your formation, and you can get different chalice, what they call in this game, to give additional stats depending on where you position the character. So there's quite a bit of a strategy already in terms of this. Then the other thing you can also do is just weapons, which are basically, I guess, like cards, effect cards that you can equip onto the team. And to be honest, this is probably the thing that you'll be playing around the most if you were to play this game manually. Because basically, if I show you later on to actually enter the combat system, even though every single character do have their own unique skills and passive, etc., you can't actually control them to some extent. So it's still a good idea for you to know exactly what are all of the character skills, so you know exactly what they're capable of. However, you can't really control that. The thing you can actually control is actually just going to be simply all of those weapon cards that I was showing you guys earlier. Okay, so if I just simply go into a battle now. Now, one thing is that there is obviously a storyline for this because it is based on an anime adaptation, right? So there is obviously, if you actually want the storyline, you can definitely go through it. I personally find it a bit more dry in comparison to the anime series. However, I have been told by others that the storyline in game get a lot better later on, and also there are some of those what if scenarios. So they do actually portray a slightly different storyline or potentially a slightly different storyline to the anime series. So it's probably still worth reading through the storyline even if you have already watched the anime. And obviously, if you don't plan to watch the anime, then this storyline is actually pretty good enough for you to at least have a basic understanding of what's going on. Okay, if you don't want it, obviously you can just skip it, and then we go into the actual battle itself. So like I said, there's a times three and there's also an auto mode, so you can play everything on auto. However, if you don't play everything on auto, you can see the character still attack. However, the main thing you can control manually is actually going to be this card. Okay, there's still going to be time cooldown, so if you don't select anything, a card will be used for you anyway, so that you just don't waste the effect. However, I guess what you can say, what you can actually do if you were to play manually is obviously optimize which card or which weapon you actually want to use. Okay. Now there are gonna be some animation when your character actually do like an ultimate skills, etc. Otherwise, it's just gonna be pretty, I want to say pretty smooth battle game mechanics, like in terms of all the animation, etc. So there's not too many like cutscenes that you have to watch through the whole time. Now, the other thing which I also really like is that you can actually skip battle. So this is a story mode. It's my first time battling it. However, I can actually skip it completely as well. So if you just really don't want to just sit there to watch your characters to actually battle manually or automatically, you can just simply skip it. Okay. So this is actually going to be, I think it's a pretty good quality of life benefit for you guys to just minimize the amount of time you actually need to be in the game and focus on what you really want to optimize instead. So that's kind of the characters. There's obviously going to be a summon, which I will show you guys in a bit. But the other thing I also want to show you guys is just kind of all of the different modes outside of the story, okay? So there's going to be a PvP element. So there's this arena. There are going to be even more, which I haven't unlocked yet. But right now I can already see this arena, which there's a leaderboard. It's kind of displayed in a quite nice, like a tree format, rather than just a simple table. So I quite like this design, I guess. But basically the idea is that you just beat other people in front of you in terms of ranking and just climb all the way up to the top. There's going to be the usual tower mode as well, which you can basically just climb up as high as you can. I only just unlocked this, so I'm only at stage 2. I haven't bothered, but you can see you can go as high as 471, which is the leader right now in my server. And then this actually resets. I'm not sure what's going to be the duration, but basically this, even though it's a tower mode, which you are supposed to climb as fast as possible and also as far as possible, the reward does reset as well. So which is also going to be quite nice, because if you just think about like how many different floors there are in this tower mode, that's actually a good chunk of rewards you'll be able to get this from periodically. So that's also quite nice. There's also going to be lots of like limited events which you can go through. Some of them also come with limited character and therefore the limited summon system, which I'll show you a bit. Other features you can also do, there's the support, which is just basically the things I talked about earlier, right? There's this weapon. There's also a few more bits which I haven't really unlocked yet, so there's potentially more things to do in the future. There's also going to be this mana, which is also quite interesting. Basically, you can actually develop bonds with different characters that you have. Basically, if I just click on one of them, you can see I basically are able to power up certain bonds with them. Essentially just for some extra stats, okay? But they just obviously designed it in a way where you can actually like navigate around. It's almost like a home base, I guess, to some extent. And there's also going to be a bit of like a fishing, so some mini games that you can do here. There's also a bit of like an idle system here as well. So for example, the stamina regen. So there's a bit of an idle system where you can get extra stamina out of this as well. Then the other thing which I haven't unlocked here, but there's a club feature, so I'm guessing there is going to be some kind of like community events that you can play, or community feature that you can play alongside with your friends as well. So those are all pretty nice things. Now, lastly, let me just show you the summoning system, which, for any kind of gacha game, that's always going to be a big part. So there's going to be the standard summon, which you can get one free summon every single day, I believe. And then obviously you also have those kind of tickets for you to summon them for. Apparently after, I think it's 140 or maybe 150 summons, you are then able to actually choose a character on your wish list. And then I believe it's a higher rate of actually getting them. So obviously that's also going to be quite nice as well. All right. So if you actually have that character on the wish list, it's going to be a 30% chance of getting that character. Now, the other thing, which is also a bit different is that there's actually going to be a limited recruit as well. So, and they actually use a slightly different ticket. So you can see here, I only have 4 of this ticket because they're just called limited recruit vouchers instead. So it's a different ticket system. The way to get them is obviously there are going to be certain events which you can get them from, and also of course you can just buy them with the gems you have. Okay, so those are basically the easiest way of how to obtain those to do your limited summons. Now, let me just quickly show you the summoning animations one. I'll just do it on the standard one because I have a lot more tickets here. So if I just do it here, I do feel like it's a quite nice animation as well for the summoning. So you start off with like a card, you put it in, then it shows you like a really long intro. It's almost like you're on like a underground system or a train system, and then you see all the characters you have. There should be a cutscene when there's like an SSR character. I believe the R and the SR, they don't have anything. Yep, there's nothing here. Let me just try to show you an actual SSR one. I'm not gonna skip just because I actually want to see the cutscene for the SSR if I do get it. So once a brand new character that you have to see that intro, even though there's no cutscene, you still have to see that like intro sentence that they say. However, the character that you already have, you can just simply, well, it just skip you to the results page, I guess. Ooh, so this is actually yellow or gold, so that basically means I've got an SSR character. Otherwise, it would be purple if it's only SR or lower. Okay, so that's an SSR. The cutscene is not actually very long to be honest. It's just like one. I think it probably only lasted for like 2 or 3 seconds. But let's just use up the rest of my ticket to see whether we can see another cutscene. Oh, it's gold again, so I'll go back to back. Hopefully it's someone new. Wait, that was the same guy, right? Same guy back to back. What? Okay. I mean, he's definitely going to my team now. Okay, there's no luck here. They're all purple. But anyway, so that's kind of how the summoning system works in this game. Overall, I think it's a pretty nicely designed game. I can definitely see some potential, and I can understand what's the hype for it. Everything's already in English, so if you guys want to get stuck in, you guys can already do so and download it from X7 Games. Hopefully, there will be an actual global server in the future. Right now, it's only in the Southeast Asia server. But obviously, if you do start playing now, that is essentially going to be prepping yourself for the global release if we ever get that. So that could also be a good opportunity for you guys to just try a few different things around. Let me know what you guys think of this game and if this is something you may actually want to consider playing.